Let's bring in an early Pinterest investor, Rick Heitzman. He's the founder of FirstMark's Capital. It's good to have you with us. Fortuitous
Scott,
to have
how are
you
you?
on a day. I'm good, thank you. So let me ask you this. Let's just play off this Elliott news. Number one, you've got an activist now is the largest shareholder, so the stock's ripping higher. They say in a new statement, conviction in the value creation opportunity led us to become the company's largest investor. What is that? What is the value creation opportunity that needs to happen when you've got monthly actives down 5%, you've got the lowest revenue growth in 2 years?
So I think there's a couple things. I think they thought the company was oversold. There's a lot of value to be picked up. You know, we're just getting the numbers now, but if you look at ARPU and the ability to monetize those users, it's up 20 to 80%, depending on which region of the world you're looking at. So Pinterest is still early in its monetization strategy. So they think it has a strategic ability to kind of control intent on the monetization strategy. In addition to that, Pinterest sits in a unique place, has about 500 million monthly active users that come directly to Pinterest. So in a world where privacy really matters and first-party cookies really matter, Pinterest is able to capture that intent. So, and in a world where ad units are moving more towards direct response going into a recession, they're able to capture that intent on a direct response basis. So they're kind of in a sweet spot among all these media players in terms of how they react with their customers and the ability to monetize them.
I feel, though, Elliott and the pressure that comes with having Elliott be the largest individual shareholder in your stock, this earnings report, the stock wouldn't be up the way it is. Would you agree with that or no?
I disagree. I think that what you're seeing is I think the stock was depressed for a bit, and you haven't also seen the ability for the new CEO. And Bill just joined as CEO during this quarter. This is his first earnings release, and I think he has the opportunity to be a real catalyst there in terms of product introduction and driving the company towards commerce. To remind everybody, he ran commerce for Google. And is now bringing that same playbook to Pinterest, and he's an excellent CEO. And I think now we all get a chance to see what he could do.
Let me read you a quote from an analyst report coming into the quarter. They need to scale beyond their traditional female user base, which is, in their words, tapped out. And they haven't been able to do that all that well to this point. How do they do that?
So there's two pieces. Domestically, female is their biggest user group, but actually internationally, it's the opposite. Internationally, most of the Pinterest users are men. The company's done a really good job of expanding the types of content to make it more male focused. And, you know, although it might be domestically a little balanced towards females, you know, especially in their demographic, high-end demographic, which isn't being as hurt thus far in the recession as much as maybe the lower incomes, as we've seen in Walmart. Their ability to tap into the upper and middle income female demographic controls so much of that ad spend and so much of that purchasing power. It's really a wonderful place to be.
I want to ask you about this new Einhorn position in Twitter, which has a lot of people talking today, too. But before we do that, briefly, just what do you expect from Airbnb tomorrow when it reports?
I think they're going to have a great quarter. And I think that looking backwards, they're going to have a great quarter. And I think guidance might not be as great. I think, you know, it's going to be reflective of the consumer. A lot of folks had the kind of the YOLO post-COVID trip over the summer of 2022 and might not be feeling as flush going forward. So I think the key thing to look at there is bookings, not necessarily second quarter results.
Okay. And in fact, we will do that tomorrow in overtime. Einhorn.
Yep.
In Twitter, he's making a bet, right? He's making a bet that Musk is not going to be able to just ride off into the sunset however he wants to do it.
I think that's exactly what he's doing. It's kind of traditional merger arbitrage. What are the chances that Delaware is going to force Musk to close or drive them in a position where he has to close? You know, I know a lot of smart people that would agree with Einhorn and Greenlight on this. It seems like Delaware could force them to close. It seems like they could force them to close this year. And if you just do the probabilistic math, that's a good buy. So it seems to be a smart thing to do, maybe not based on the basis of the fundamental value of Twitter, but the effectiveness of the legal argument by the Twitter board of directors.
Let me ask you quickly before I let you run. Sure. What's the scuttlebutt among you and your friends in the VC world who are in tech? Is he going to what's going to happen here?
I think the scuttlebutt is they're going to force him to close. I think that the Twitter board's done a lot of good work, has set themselves up well legally, and there's a lot of precedent in Delaware law that they're going to force him to close. He'll try to get out of it, but it's going to. But the conventional wisdom is it's going to close.
All right, Rick Heitzman, thank you very much.